one. Welcome back to the Pariah podcast. This pod has officially hit double digits. We are on episode 10, coming off a very, very exciting game week. I'm reporting to you live from New York City. If you notice a change of background, I appreciate you because no one's watching on YouTube. Joining me today, I have Faris, Nabir, and Mahmoud, the cast you know and you love. So without further ado, there's a lot of football to talk about today. So I don't want to twiddle my thumbs. Let's get straight into it. And I'm not going to tease you guys by holding the big topics for later like some of these podcasters do. We're going to get straight into the meat and the potatoes. We're going to talk about the Chelsea City game. I'm going to be honest, brother. Chelsea had maybe the two greatest Premier League games of all time back-to-back on our heads. And I was paying close attention to both of them. We had a comment today, okay, on one of our
comment?
Yeah, they said, why are Chelsea fans chatting like they won? City is still first in the table, and Chelsea are 10th. Talk to them, bro. Actually, before you talk to them, let me talk to them for you. Let them have their moment, man. All right, now you go first.
Dude, come on, man. We all know 10th is just temporary, dude.
Oh,
that result is gonna push us on. I know that for sure. And I'm telling you, dude, like against bigger teams, we know what to do. And once we just sort out the whole deep block problem, learn how to score against 10 men and all that stuff, I think we're back on track. That's what I'll say.
Come on, bro. Get at it with more venom. That was too nice.
The only problem is, bro, there's only like 6 good teams. So you gotta.
No, we're 10th, man. That means there's 9 good teams ahead of us.
No, you guys saw what Pep said. He had a little bit of a dig at Arsenal.
Yeah.
Did he really?
We're not little bro anymore. They asked him about Chelsea, and he started talking about Liverpool and Arsenal. Real estate. We got a 4-bedroom condo in his mind.
I missed that quote, dude.
Yeah, man. It is what it is. We're one of the big boys now. But what I'll say to you, Faris, I don't think it's just big teams that you guys are good against. We have to be more specific. You're good against teams that push up against you. What happens now if, let's say, a manager without ego wisens up? Like, let's say a Brighton comes. Let's say a Liverpool comes. And they're like, hold on. We know you can't attack a low block. I'm going to just sit here. And I'm going to counterattack, as has been my bread and butter forever with these pacey wingers. What do you do then?
No, that's a good question. I think the two teams you used in that example probably wouldn't change how they play, Brighton and Liverpool. But like I agree with you, when we go to Newcastle next, they'll sit back and yeah, I don't know, dude. I feel like the confidence we got from that. I know it's just a draw, but like the 2 games we played, Spurs and Man City, the confidence we got from that to push on to like play sides that we're struggling against. I think we'll do okay. Because one thing, when we played Brentford in this past stretch, that was the only loss we've had in like the last 8 games. Even in the Brentford game, we created chances. We didn't put them away. But like I think a lot of our players are hitting form at the right time right now. Even Nico Jackson, who we can talk about later. But I think Sterling, Palmer, those guys. Dude, he was on one. Do you see him like he was pushing Cole Palmer to go celebrate in front of the City fans?
Yeah, bro. He shushed Kovacic mid-conversation. I've never seen a dude do that.
No, it was fun, dude. That match was fun in general. Even like, you want to win, obviously, but it was just crazy to see us come back from being down 4 times. But yeah, I'm excited for the next stuff. I'm excited to just play any team right now. I'm like kind of on a high for that. And yeah, we're 10th to go back to the comment, but 10th by like a couple of points, man. We're like 3-4 off, like 4 spots. Like I think come halfway through the season, I think we'll be up closer to where we want to be. 6-7 round right now.
Bar said 10th hype, man.
10th hype.
I mean, I watched the game. I genuinely was impressed.
Wow, that's a huge concern.
The way you guys were able to just penetrate not only their midfield, but just create a consistent attack after attack after attack. We've struggled with City, both home and away, over the past several seasons. And I can say, I don't think we have ever put out a performance like you all have from an attacking standpoint, where consistent attack after attack after attack. Like you guys make so many chances, just opening City up. And unfortunately, like when we played City at home, maybe one
I
or
mean,
two chances.
I'd still take the 3 points, but I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean,
Nah, bro. It's about passion.
I mean, the passion is involved, but what you all accomplished is not easy, and it deserves some credit. And if anyone's chatting shit about y'all celebrating, go celebrate your dick off. I don't give a shit. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I think one really, really important thing I got from that game is, look, the sides struggle all the time, and I think the biggest red flag is when you see a team dead on the ground, no fight. I don't want to sound like so cliche, but you guys showed bounce back ability. You guys showed resilience. You guys showed fearlessness, right? City had the lead 3 different times in that game.
Yeah.
Everyone in this pod has experienced the City dagger, right? It's very easy to go down a goal against City and be like, that's it. This is where they run away with it, right? Especially like that first goal where it's like a questionable penalty, whatever, right?
Right.
For your boys to get up, pick themselves up, young kids, right? And go out there and play the way they did, so impressive to me. And I want to highlight, I know we kind of, shat on him a little bit last week, but I want to highlight Raheem Sterling. I haven't seen that brother move like that in 4 years. That was,
dude, I think it was some personal
it was
stuff
crazy
against Pep. Like him and Cole Palmer, I think they had something against. They had to do something in that game, and they did. And
they got it back in blood, man. It was crazy.
Dude.
Sterling was going at Walker every time, and I've never seen Walker that shook.
Exactly. I've never seen Walker lose composure like that, bro.
Yeah.
He is like the most solid right back in terms of like defending ability, but Sterling had him on like thin ice.
Yeah.
Got past, and I had confidence every time Sterling picked up the ball. I was like, get it to Sterling. And you compare that with his performance in the Spurs game. Yes, he's the one who, created the move to break the deadlock. But there was just so much I don't know, I was watching him I wish you could do better than this. In the City game, I was like, yo, when is this insanity run going to end? Everything you try is coming off.
No, I think with Sterling, his problem this whole season has just been consistency. We get a good performance, and then we get when we play against a deep block team, he's kind of again doesn't know what to do, kind of gets locked up. But yeah, that match yesterday was his time to shine, and he was going crazy, man.
Yeah, him and battling demons.
I'm battling demons right now.
Him and what?
It's interesting because Chelsea, the past decade, I felt like has always been the quote unquote villain of the Premier League, just in terms of the way they play, the types of players they've had, when they had their Mourinho era, so hateable. So everyone hated Chelsea with the passion unless you were a Chelsea fan. And it's just given the, past 2 years and the form you all are in and the rough times, I feel like City has now become that villain in the Premier League that everyone is unanimously against. And it's quite ironic now looking at the game. It's just all of us consistently were rooting for Chelsea, just despite all the shit that we've gone through with Chelsea over the past several years. But I remember I don't remember the last time I was this excited. Just some scrappy football, Cole Palmer, baby, just going into that huddle with the City players. I'm like, get in there, big boy.
Chelsea. Oh man, I was lucky bleeding blue for the last 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie.
Somebody tweeted us Arsenal fans celebrated 8 Chelsea goals in the past week.
Yeah,
and it was crazy.
Man, I did. I truly did. And I think
that was a good point though. How City are kind of the ones we root against, because City is just inevitable. So every goal they scored, I was I didn't react to anything, because even when we went up, I was they're gonna score. It just made sense. It was obvious. But getting that pen the last minute and getting a draw out of that, honestly, I felt like we should have won. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think a couple of things could have gone our way, but it is what it is. Maybe a draw is the most fair result. I don't know what you guys think.
I
You
think you could
definitely
have
had the
won.
opportunity. You had the opportunity to win it
Yeah.
multiple
Yeah.
times. City got fortunate. They always get those penalty calls. You know,
Even
Holland
the goals, even the actual goals, I
just,
think it was a little soft from your defense.
like
I'm not gonna lie.
that
No,
Rodrigo goal was so typical. Like
Yeah.
Rodri, like
smash
Rodri,
into
like
Silva's leg.
For
I know.
Rodri, we got to talk about what your midfield did to him. That was really impressive. I think every part of your squad, bar your defense, showed a lot. The one goal that pissed me off the most was that free Akanji header.
Yeah.
There's no excuse for that, bro. Like I don't know what happened there, but figure it out. It's a
I
set
feel like
piece.
the only excuse you have there is that on that same play, we went down a man because Gallagher was just holding
Oh
his
yeah,
leg.
hurt. That's true.
Yeah. And then they kind of just continued and then pulled from that free kick.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. That's just, I'm not going to take that away from them. That was really bad from us. Like, I don't know who was marking who. It was just, but it's funny
But
that
it's
we also
okay.
scored from a corner that game too. That was our first goal from a corner
It was
this
a
season, I
great
think.
goal. Thiago Silva, I
Yeah.
believe, right? For that
Yeah.
equalizer the first time. I don't know. It was a great game. I really, really did enjoy it. And now we have something tasty developing at the top of the table, right? We have City on 27, Arsenal, Liverpool, both on 26, with City and Liverpool facing each other in just 2 weeks' time after this
That's
international
hype.
break. Dude, no matter what, right? Like no matter what the result is, it's an amazing opportunity for Arsenal to kind of like gain ground on one of them, right? Or maybe even take the lead in the event of a draw. And it's just like we've been waiting so many years for more than a two-horse race. And I genuinely think we have that. And then if you look just a little bit lower, there's Aston Villa sitting on 25. Just
Yeah.
they've been, I believe, on a perfect win streak at home. All their points dropped have been away from home. They've made Villa Park like a fortress this season. And, you know, we touched on them before. It's really amazing what Unai Emery's doing. I want to kind of gauge your thoughts on a debate that's been popping up. I've seen people on Twitter debating Mikel Arteta and Unai Emery. Give me your guys' thoughts on that.
What the hell?
And it's like, you think it'd go one way, but as the things stand today, the timeline is landslide in favor of Unai Emery.
That's crazy.
I think I'd say the simple analysis of Emery is that he handles these like not mid-table, but like less expectations, less ego. Like he handles it brilliantly. And maybe like, you know, the bigger job at Arsenal was just too much for him at the time. There was too much turmoil with the squad and stuff. But I think with less pressure on him and, you know, players willing to like buy into what he wants to do, because I do think he is tactical. Maybe I think the idea of him in England has kind of become like a joke, at least during Arsenal, where people don't really credit him with some of the coaching stuff. But I think he sets up his team really well, and he has just a good collection of like, you know, I don't know, hard workers. Is that kind of like cliche? I don't know, but
what do you say to people saying that, you know, Arteta only has the FA Cup to his name, where Emery has numerous European titles, albeit, you know, Europa League ones. He has, I guess, on paper more pedigree, right? What do you guys say to that? I have my take. I'll give it after.
I mean, how long's Arteta been a manager for? Like,
Yeah.
what type of comparison is this? But
Yeah.
But I guess that's their argument, right? Like, how could you say that a manager as new as Arteta is better than Unai Emery?
and
Right.
you people, I think what the distaste with Unai Emery, because when Unai first came in, we went on a run and we were playing
22
Yeah,
unbeaten. I
we went
remember
on
it.
a run and we had top four in the bag, and I think we went the last three games of the season we just lost, and we just tossed away top four, lost Europa League.
To his credit, the point total we got that season would have been enough for top four in 19 out of the last, I think, 20 seasons, with the one exception being the one he got it in. So
That's
But
crazy.
I think the issue with Emery is we did not see what his overall plan was in terms of not only in this style of play, but recruitment and the players he was bringing in, and also like the transition of the club moving forward, because we had Arsene Wenger for so long, and the club culture at that time was incredibly toxic. And it may have been just because of his, you know, language barrier and gap, and he wasn't able to
yeah,
connect with the fans as well. Whereas with Arteta coming in, he was a former player. We all recognize him. We kind of gave him a bit more time because really desperate, just thinking, what other option do we have right now? Like, let's just stick with Arteta. And I think from all fronts, from culture of the club, from style of play, from recruitment, we've had some duds like Willian. You can maybe even say Havertz might be one that I'll give him some time. But so many things have gone in Arteta's favor that I don't think it's comparable, to be quite honest with you. Mikel is, in my book, I would never go back to Emery.
To give you some pushback, right? With the recruitment point, I do remember Unai Emery did not get many of his first choice signings, right? Like the summer we got Nicolas Pepe, he wanted Wilfried Zaha. Whether Zaha would be working out better, who knows, right? He's playing in Turkey right now, same as Pepe. So we can't really, defend too much, but who knows what would have happened, right? And that was his biggest signing. And the other thing I'd say about, like building the club up from ground zero again, like Arteta has done, he didn't really have that privilege, right? Like, I think our leadership needed a buffer between Wenger to kind of understand that, hey, we need to blow this whole thing up and start again. But that being said, I do actually agree with you. And I think the point I'd raise is if you were to build a club from zero and you had the choice of picking Unai Emery or Mikel Arteta, I think I know what every single person that watches the Premier League would pick. And, if you pick otherwise, fair enough. But I think the grand majority of people would pick Mikel Arteta. And if you want to use the trophies point, right? Let's do like a more contentious example. How many Premier League clubs today would take on Jose Mourinho? He's one of the most decorated coaches of all time, right? But trophies won in the past, I don't think are indicative of future success. And more importantly, if you look at the trophies Unai Emery has won, it's like a couple French leagues and a couple Europa leagues, right? He's never won the Spanish title, never won the Premier League, never won the Champions League, right? And for a manager that's been, as tenured as he has in the clubs that he has been at, like PSG, it could be argued he should have more. That's
I probably would take Arteta too, but I think like I would give Emery more respect than maybe he gets in this argument, just because I think he's a good manager and he's at a place that suits him. But yeah, to your point, I probably would start with Arteta too.
I think Emery stocks just took an insane hit when Barca did the comeback against his PSG side. I think a lot of football fans that watch that game have that impression of him looking like there's the dog. There's the their socks. Woo! Have the impression of him looking like a vampire, hair slicked back, just going no, and looking.
And I
I
think
think
the British culture didn't help out either.
Yeah, for sure. That was kind of messed up on us. But I think I agree with Faris about like he does his best with what he's got and he produces the maximum they can produce. It's just I didn't think he's a man for the like top clubs. Like he's very, very good for the mid clubs to like, even excel their expectations, whatever they have, and produce what they I think he has good talent idea. I believe he brought in Saliba for us. He graduated Saka and all that stuff. I think he has that, but I just feel like maybe pressure and how to grow the club in the future and lay foundations to kind of fall onto if things don't go wrong. Things do go wrong. That's what he struggles with. I feel like at the moment he will produce, but also like looking back, I just looked back at the Aston Villa fixtures. There's not really any crazy like wins that he's had that kind of shows like, oh, he's gonna like do mad things this season. Like there's like teams that he should be beating, he's beating because Villa is not like a small club anymore. They made some big transfers, and I feel like
they have money to spend.
Yeah,
let's talk about their next four, right? Within their next four, the three they play are Spurs, City, and then Arsenal. And the gap between the City and Arsenal games is 3 days. And both those games are at home, so I think it's pretty safe to say, I hope I don't regret these words, that home undefeated streak or winning streak will be stopped sometime in the week of December 6th to the 9th.
They have Spurs next, you said?
Spurs next. So while we're on that, let's jump over to I guess the Spurs game that happened this past week, where they collapsed in true Spursy fashion, with goals in the 91st and the 97th minute, snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory, as Spurs always do. Let me hear you guys' takes on it.
Dude, I feel bad for them, man. I can't even lie.
I do not at all.
Get
This
the
is
hell
good
out.
food, bro.
Look, I don't have the same relationship to Spurs as you guys do.
Fam, you're not a Chelsea fan then. They don't like them either. They don't like them either.
I don't like them. I'm just saying the
Bro, they
situation they're
hate
in.
you. What are you talking about? They hate you more
Okay,
than
we hate each other, but dude, losing so many of your key players in like 15 minutes and then going to this game.
Womp,
You know, all right, sorry, someone else talk about it. I don't want to. I'm not gonna win this.
I
Can
mean,
we just say
we knew this was gonna happen.
Of course.
We
This is what
knew
happens, guys.
this was
Nah,
gonna
dude,
happen.
no, we
This is
didn't.
how we
Come
drew
on,
it up.
man.
I've been saying
100%.
this. I've been saying
This
this for
is-
weeks.
This is the history of the Tottenham Hotspur. This is how they do. They always concede under pressure.
Dude, if they had if
Fam.
their team didn't like lose 4 starters in a day, I'm pretty
Dude,
sure
the
they would
4
not.
starterless team was up 1-0 in the 90th minute. The 90th minute, they're up 1-0 with all their starters gone. Lock it up for 8 minutes.
not gonna lie, that first goal for Wolves.
Oh my God, Pablo
Crazy.
That was
Sarabia,
nasty.
take
That
a
was
bow.
nasty.
Take a bow, man. That's I think goal of the
Man.
season contender. That's just like pure football. But the second goal. Look, we talked about Ange's high line. He did the complete opposite. These men were holding the line in the penalty box. It took one leap from him and he was through on goal. It was the craziest thing ever.
Even when you see the Wolves celebration after their first goal, they were like happy. They're like, all right, let's celebrate it out. Let's waste some time, get it done. And they saw that one opportunity and they took full advantage.
Honestly, Wolves deserve that though. The shit they've been going through recently, they
Bro,
need something like that.
Wolves-
They also
Wolves are the
played
biggest
incredibly
victims.
well on the day. Like they also
Mm.
Wolves did not. It's not like this was a snatch and grab.
Right.
They deserved the win. Like
They had a lot of sitters they missed early on
Yeah.
in the game, and I think they got what they deserved. But I think if you're a Tottenham fan, you're sitting there with 3 points in your hand with 8 minutes of stoppage time left. You got to be able to see that out if you're serious about a title charge, right? Let alone at like a top 4 charge in this league. I think those are points they're going to very much regret losing. But on the flip side of the coin, they've stolen 3 points against like Sheffield in the 90 plus 7th minute. So like it all works out in the end. Look, let's be serious for a moment. They do have players out. These injuries got confirmed to be pretty bad. I think both Van de Ven and Madison are out at least until 2024. Romero's, of course, suspended. Udogi, while being suspended, got injured in training.
No shot. I didn't hear that.
It was his hamstring. But it's like assessed, and apparently it's not that bad. But again, you have a player who has a knock. It's not looking good. But listen, like we've always maintained on this podcast, injuries are a part of the game, right? Like you can't complain once they happen. You have to be prepared. And Spurs did not have a squad. Am I saying they should? Am I demanding that they should have a squad? No, they're in a rebuild phase. I think a title challenge was always a little too soon this season.
Yeah,
but a lot of them didn't think so. And I'm here to say, I told you so.
But no one was seriously considering a Spurs.
Bro, I've been seeing Premier League account tweet propaganda for the last 2.5 months.
Bro, can we talk about the fact that
The Athletic,
who really won the game though?
Oh,
yeah. After Chelsea smacked up Spurs, the Athletic, oh my God, such a beta newspaper. They tweet, Chelsea take the points on the day, but who really won? Peak journalism, bro.
I think
Spurs.
it has to do with the fact that they can't really this is like Spurs hasn't been in title contention for a long time. And I feel like this is their chance to like just boost as many things as they got for Spurs. It's like when you don't care for a team to win too much, you just like say all the things you want to say, and they're just like exploiting.
Ange won 3 manager of the months in a row.
Yeah, what?
There's
Yeah.
only been 3. He's better at 4th.
Listen. Last season, around this time, we were unstoppable. None of us were convinced in November that we were going to challenge for the title.
Exactly. And that's the difference,
Yeah,
I think. We were all hesitant about ourselves.
January, none of us were convinced. February, I started drinking the Kool-Aid and we saw
As soon as we were convinced, we fell apart.
Homie, you can't think you're in a title challenge in October, November. Like, focus on finishing top 4 first. You just lost your best player, arguably in the history of your entire club. Okay. Chill.
Damn.
Calma.
Yeah,
No, the athletic are hilarious, man. I just think when Ange is like the tactical guy, like the new shiny toy of the Prem, like they're gonna hype him up. And yeah, no, that article was funny, but maybe I don't feel bad now, but it is kind of just like insane how their season just flipped in like a week, like a
love
game,
this
basically.
game. I love this
All
game. It's
thanks
so beautiful.
to Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, at my wedding, one of my buddies is a Tottenham fan, and he gave me a high five, being like, "Top of the table, buddy." I'm like,
Damn.
Now you got to give him a down low. And be
October,
like,
buddy.
bottom of the table, buddy. So let's go over some of the other fixtures. Just browse over them. Everton got a win. Look at that, right?
Applause for Everton.
West Ham got a win. I don't think they've won in the last 2 weeks, so that was pretty important for them. Liverpool put away Brentford pretty comfortably. Luis Diaz
Brentford had some chances,
They did. Brentford are a scary team, man. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I think we play them next.
We do.
I am a little bit scared about that. Something else I enjoyed thoroughly was the mighty Bournemouth taking down Newcastle, the absolute fakest club in the world. We talked earlier about City becoming the new biggest villains. I don't even think Chelsea are second anymore. Scratch that. Move them down a column and throw those guys at Newcastle in there, because they are not a real institution. They're a made-up club that benefit directly from Saudi intervention and geopolitics.
Come on, man.
And the Premier League as a whole.
Come on, man.
And I'm going to make sure nobody forgets that. And they lost. And I was very happy about it. I'm not even going to talk too much about them. They don't deserve it. Next game I want to touch on is Man United won a game, guys. And it was against Luton. It was a hard-fought victory, 1-0. They just edged it. And as United fans have been bragging about all week, they're now only 7 points away from top spot. Who would have thought? And they sit 6th. Take it away.
I don't know who to compare them to, except like Man United sides of the past, where you play like this just not like awful football, kind of just smash and grab. And I've seen them do this under Mourinho, Van Gaal, even Ole. So like, give them the win, I guess. Like, let them beat Liverpool too. Like, I guess they're a side that are difficult to play. But I don't know how you can watch, I think they just lost to Copenhagen in the Champions League, and now like the performances have not been good at all in their wins and their losses. So like, sure, you take 3 points, but like, I'm not worried about them at all in any top 4, any type of challenge.
Dude, the performances they're putting out are perfect for a longer Ten Hag tenure, and that's what I love. That man's popping once, coming back.
This is exactly what we've been waiting for. Because if he didn't win that game, we would have probably got a comunicado oficial from Manchester United announcing somebody as interim. I just think, look, United are different from Chelsea in that even when they're winning, their players look disinterested. Like, it's just like, I don't think everyone there's on the same page. I really do believe Bruno Fernandes is mentally very, very invested in that club. Like, he I think has bad days when United aren't winning, but a lot of the other guys, I don't think they care that much. So like,
I'll say that the selection has been really weird recently. Like some of the guys he's playing, because he's gotten a few guys back from injury. And yes, as a Chelsea fan, I am just confused as to the Mason Mount signing in general now, because it seems like that was very much Ten Hag push, and now he doesn't even play it. Like, it's so weird to me. I'm not there to say that he's like
He,
bad, that he shouldn't be playing. It just doesn't make sense. Like, why even go after him if he's not even pushing? Like, McTominay is starting, and sure, McTominay has
Yeah.
won them some games, but like long term, like I don't know what is
I
going on
I
with this
think I
squad.
think God has intervened because Ericsson is now injured and Mount will be forced to play.
Oh, I did not know that.
So that could be, I guess, a turn for them.
Hmm.
But if Mason Mount's the guy you're counting on to turn it around, you might be finished. I don't know. It's not looking too
No
good for you.
comment.
Yeah, you've been in those shoes for us. I just think, look, I'm seeing people on Twitter talking about, oh, United, it's better for them to get knocked out of the Champions League so that they have one game a week and can focus on the league. Focus on the league to do what? Avoid relegation?
Exactly.
I don't.
Exactly.
You better get as much Champions League revenue as you can this season because it's not going to come again. Like
This,
it's
I feel like Manchester United over the past 10 years has been this constant cycle of rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. The style of play, the managers they all bring in, all predictable, all implement some play style, and the recruitment has been pretty
Mhm.
terrible.
Oh,
Like,
awful.
Yeah,
God
let's be
awful.
honest with you.
not good.
Like
Not good.
incredibly terrible. Like when was the last time? I think the last time I was actually impressed by Manchester United, I think was maybe opening weekend 2 years ago when United played Chelsea. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, before zero and young United squad, like we were thinking, oh, is this the new Man U? Because we had never seen something like that before. We just consistently saw all these superstars or big money buys and their little
Hmm.
fancy haircuts and little dabs and whatever the hell they want to try to dance on the Emirates and things like that. But I don't know. Like they keep bringing in these new managers and new players, but it all looks like the same recycled garbage. I mean, I
Yeah.
hate to call
look,
it that, but no one's ever impressed. And like, they get these wins and they get these results, but we all look like, yeah, but they don't play good football. And like you said,
Nothing feels like sustainable with them.
yeah. And
Like
then what's
anytime,
the end goal? What's the end goal? Like, oh, we're gonna get points in the Prem, but to do what? Like, honestly, to do what?
they're in purgatory, and it's really, really fun to watch. They're another club I never ever feel bad for. I can already kind of hear them typing, saying, "Oh, but we have injuries." Da 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 da. Again, every team in the Premier League has to deal with injuries. My club, Arsenal, are currently without, I believe, 5 starters. Thomas
Hmm.
Partey, Ben White, Odegaard, Smith Rowe. I'm gonna throw him in there. Gabby
Jesus.
Jesus. It's just like deal with it. Everyone else has to find a way. It's not an excuse. You've invested well over 400 million, right? While Ten Hag's been here. Like it's just blah blah blah
but
blah blah.
do you think he deserves to be sacked if he's never fielded his best team?
Bro, beat Copenhagen. That's not a real team.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
Uh,
and I think they play Galatasaray after the international break, bro. And they're not gonna have Rashford
Rashford.
or Hoyland. Hoyland is now
But
injured.
I mean, also it's just like I don't think the guy deserves to be sacked regardless. Like, how
Yeah,
can
me
you
neither.
how can you expect there to be any change if it's another cycle of rinse and repeat? Like,
No,
let's all right.
but look, I'll push back on that because these are his guys. A lot of this team is
They
his.
are his guys, but I mean, at some point, and I know people have different opinions about this, but all those other managers that have been through United, those were also their quote unquote guys. Lukaku to Pogba to even Di Maria to
Falcao, Di
whatever. Like
Maria, yeah.
the managers went out and wanted to get them, and regardless of what had happened at this point, it's it's becoming so predictable. Like if United get another manager, yes, somehow they'll go on some sort of run for a
Hmm.
while, and then it'll all come tumbling down eventually, and we'll have the same conversation again. And then, like in the meantime, like when these new managers come in, yeah, they have a couple good games, they get results, but no one really sees an identity there. Even Gary Neville is having these arguments with Carragher about we don't know this type of football Manchester United plays anymore because it's always something different every week. And he starts blaming the owners and blah, 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 whatever.
No, but I will say it is definitely a bigger indictment on the people above, like the directors that are really in charge of who's getting hired and sanctioning these signings. Because I've seen certain managers, even the best managers, there's been pushback on some of their signings, like Pep wanted like Fred, got turned down. Pep wanted Jorginho, got turned down.
Chill out, Jorginho, bro.
But I've seen, managers like not get the guy they want. Even Pochettino's had some questionable wants. So you need someone that sure has a smart footballing mind to like balance out with the manager. Like giving Ten Hag immediately so much control in who comes in, it just does not seem like a smart decision. And I don't know if that's supposed to be like we didn't give enough control to Mourinho or Ole, so we're going to try to change that. But whoever's running these, and I don't even think it's Woodward anymore. I don't know who they have in their board.
Woodward left. And I think maybe this is something that'll change with the introduction of Ratcliffe's leadership. But who knows? I personally think when Ferguson left, he put some type of black magic on the club. So he's forever remembered as the greatest and no one eclipses him. I just think they're doomed. And I don't think that's going to change. Another thing, I think that's everything for Premier League, unless you guys want to
weekly United shit on sesh.
Yeah, I think that's enough. Hold them back.
We're not going to talk about Arsenal at all.
Look, we won. It was fun.
Bro, we talk about Arsenal in every segment, dude.
Yeah, I kind of sprinkle it in throughout. It's we get it in there. Look, we won. It was a great win. We're keeping ourselves, for as badly we're playing on offense, I think we're keeping ourselves in the conversation, and that's all we need to do until January, when hopefully we get our guys back. I just think defensively we just look so good. The goal we conceded was like a deflection. Tomiyasu honestly got kind of pooped on, but we won't talk about it because we won the game. I'm just looking forward to what Mikel is able to do once he does not even get all his guys back, just like one or two. Very excited for that. Who I did want to talk about is Endrick. Because like
the transition.
Bro, I saw, I don't know if you guys are familiar, 17-year-old kid out of one of the Brazilian clubs. I think it's Fluminense. Forgive me if I'm saying that wrong or if I got the clubs wrong altogether. This guy is the guy Madrid is targeting. Well, basically has wrapped up. The goals he's scoring, not just in training, in games. His foot is like the type to cause a concussion to Martin Odegaard. Like he's banging him. And he showed up. He got called up to the Brazil senior team as a 17-year-old. And he showed up looking like the second coming of Pele. I just thought, we talk about that 4-letter word that begins with A all the time. And he embodied it, man. What a footballer.
I saw the picture, I don't even know if Mahmoud knows who this is.
What's the 4-letter A word? I don't even know what that is.
Forrest, enlighten him.
I don't want to say it, dude.
Aura.
It's aura, dude. It's aura.
Aura, as the Spanish would say it. But I just kind of wanted to glaze him a little bit, just in case he turns out good. I could say I told you so. That's it for the pod this week. Short and sweet.
Is Jesus fit for the Brazil squad?
So what happened was I spoke to my guys over there in Brazil. So basically, Arsenal has said he's injured, but international footballing bylaws state that should a national team want to perform their own checks, they shall. I believe this happened pretty recently with Bukayo Saka in the England camp. We said he was injured. They said, hold on, let me take a look. And it wasn't a big deal because Bukayo Saka lives in England. But Brazil are having this injured dude fly 11 hours to Brazil and 11 hours back while recovering. And I just think, look, we talk all day about endangering players and these congested schedules. Now you have players' own countries absolutely disregarding their health. For their sake, I hope Jesus isn't injured so they don't look like idiots.
Injured is such a subjective term these days. Like, is injured actually like injured?
Only for Arsenal, dude. You guys have fake injuries somehow.
Yeah, like
Look, I think the reason we've developed fake injuries is single-handedly Thomas Partey's fault. Brody would
Nah. It's Mikel Arteta's fault. My boy
no.
is very sketchy with these updates.
Look, Mikel Arteta lies, but I think the lying began after the second time Partey was on the brink of recovery, decided to play his soul out for Ghana, and got injured again. It's happened twice. And Arteta was like, nah, man, we're going to send you out there with our own physios. We're going to say you're injured, yada, yada, yada. And he still finds a way to get injured. Most frustrating player, both in real life and on the pitch. But I don't want to start on that. That was this week's pod. We love to love you're showing us on TikTok. We love to love you're showing us on Instagram. Check us out. We're there on all platforms, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on Audible, on Amazon Podcasts,
I didn't know
on
we're on
YouTube.
Audible, dude.
Listen, bro, if you're on a long car ride or you don't like our faces, just throw the audio on. You'll enjoy yourselves. If you want to see our faces, we're always there for you on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. Check us out. Keep listening. We love you. We appreciate you. We'll be back soon, hopefully. Thank you, guys.
We're gonna have a London
Peace.
tasting session next week.
Oh, absolutely. Bye.